Hey y'all, it's Jessie with the Two Sticks and String podcast, and this is a podcast about fiber arts, knitting, crocheting, looming, cross-stitching, spinning. If you're crafty, this is the place for you. A little bit about me, if you are new here. Again, I'm Jessica. I am an Army wife. I'm 27 years old, and I am currently living in Bavaria, Germany, and I'm here for at least another year. We call this fairy tale land because this is what you think of typically when you think of Germany and someone tells you they're going there. You think of the Lederhosen, the Dirndls, the castles. That is where I am living because that is specific. It's except there are castles and traditional clothes all over the country. However, this is where they're most prevalently found. And you can actually still see farmers in this state of Germany wearing dirndls and lederhosen every day. So, hiya to all of my new viewers, and welcome back to all of my returning viewers. Thank you so much. If you haven't already, I urge you to like, comment, and subscribe so that you can keep up with all the fun things that we have going on here. We also have a Ravelry group, which is the Two Sticks and String podcast. You will find me on Ravelry as Army Wife Knit Life. If you want to find the group that way, the group badge is just my logo, which is Petrillo the owl with some green yarn. Love him dearly. My friend Logan drew him for me as a Christmas present. And I am on Instagram as Army Wife Knitting Life. So follow me there if you want to get in touch with me. That's probably the best place to get a hold of me since I can see it directly on my phone when I get a message or a comment, whereas Ravelry, you have to go think to check it. And yes, I'm on there daily, but it might be a longer wait time if you message me there. So if you need me right away, use Instagram. Okay? All right, good. Today is May 31st, so we are officially a month into the Yoo-hoo! Big Stash Blowout make-along. I am excited about this, you guys. There's been so much progress on my end, and I will be giving you numbers soon about what's going on. I do post them in the group, in the specific thread. I try to do it when there's progress made to the to what I've been doing. And also, Stash Dash has begun, so this can tie in to Yoo-hoo Big Stash Blowout easily. If you are participating in one of my make-alongs or cows, just know that you are always welcome to double dip, triple dip, poly dip. Do whatever you want for your dipping with your projects. They're yours. If you worked hard on it, you're proud, you can post it on every applicable thread cow in the world. I don't care because you made it. You should be proud of it. Advertise it. Let people know. Share the pattern with people because you did something and it's an accomplishment, and that's a big deal. I'm all about it. Celebrating accomplishments. It's going to be kind of a rambly post. Sorry. It's been an interesting month over here, but I will talk about some of that in chatter. First off, though, I'm not going to talk about some of my friends' cows just because there's a lot of stuff going on here today, and I know it's been a few weeks, but I will make a whole list of them next episode, and I'll probably put a thread on my Ravelry group advertising them because we already have one. So, important first thing first though, there's something exciting. You're going to be seeing a finished object that I have made, and I have yarn left over from it, and not just a little bit of yarn left over. And I double checked the pattern. I did it correctly. I used the right amount of yarn, so I know it's not me. It's just I bought this kit for this pattern specifically, and it came with extra. So I want to pass on my good fortune to you. So I'm going to be posting a thread by the time this is up and uploaded onto YouTube. If you go into the Ravelry group, there will be a giveaway thread. Follow the prompt listed in the thread, and you can get all of my leftover yarn. And I know it's funny that I'm giving away yarn after stressing how I'm trying to get rid of stash, and I encourage y'all to work through your stash too. However, it's nice yarn, it's beautiful, and it's not just one or two skeins. It's a decent amount, and so I do want to share that with somebody. And you don't have to make this pattern with it or anything. I just want to share what I have left over because I think it's important to share what I have. So This is Knit Picks Cotton yarn, and this is in the Ash colorway, Creme Brulee, and Whisker. These are the colors. You aren't just getting these 3 balls. I have 4 balls each of the Ash and the Creme Brulee, and I have 1 other ball of Whisker. So I'm going to show you. They are all in this bag. I'm not sending you the bag. This is one of my favorites. It's just it was my project bag for the project. But y'all can see there is some leftover yarn from this project. So follow the thread, answer the prompt, and be entered to win. There's no requirement. I only ask that you be a member of the group and a subscriber of the podcast, even though honestly I can't check to see it if you're on private or anything. I can just see how many subscribers I have. So just make sure you're a member of the group at least, please, is my big request. So with that said and done, we are going to talk about finished objects, because this is already a crazy podcast. 6 minutes in, and I feel like my head's been chopped off and I'm a chicken running around headless. It's probably not how I should have stated that, but it is what it is. All right. I know it's been a month since I've recorded last and posted an episode. It's because it's been crazy here this month, and I'll talk about it later. I apologize. It's been rough. So, first things first. First finished object is something you have never seen before, you guys. This is the V-neck Magpie tendency. And yes, you can see through it. It is a fingering weight sweater. It is done with 2 skeins of yarn in my size. And I'm fluffy. See what I did there, Natalie? I'm fluffy. And it's a V-neck, as I said. It is a test knit, so it is not out yet, but it will be coming out soon. This is done by Shenanigans, who did the regular round neck V-neck, the regular round neck, the regular Magpie tendency. So I was her tester for that pattern as well, and I did this one in the size up from what I did last time. And it is a crop top, and I did this in Drachenwolle yarn, German brand. There we go. And I think it's the Aphrodite colorway. However, it doesn't say on here what the colorway is. It doesn't even have a colorway number. So I actually went to her website, which is drachenwolle.de. And I looked through all of her available colorways there, and Aphrodite kind of fit the best. As I said, it's 2 skeins of yarn. However, this is my 2nd skein, and there's still a decent amount left. So I used a third of the skein. Not even a third. I used 30 grams of 100 gram skein from my 2nd skein. So 130 grams is all you need for her largest size. She is size inclusive, so go and check it out. I will be honest, I will say, while I had fun knitting this sweater for her and test knitting it, I do prefer the regular Magpie tendency. The construction of this is more detail oriented, and typically when I am wanting to knit like a sweater or something, I go for something simple, and it just wasn't a brainless, mindless knit. And that's kind of what I've been needing this past month, and so this was not the brainless that I needed, which is probably kind of jaded my thought process on it. And I do love the finished product. However, it was harder for me to get it done than I originally planned. But it's very smartly written, and I just prefer the look, for me personally, of the rounded edge. I feel a little more covered. And so that's my only reason for the preference. And it does require I-cord, which is not an issue for me. I like I-cord. I love the bind off of it. But so this is what the color looks like up close, because I realize it's hard to see when it's far away and it's practically see-through. It is meant as a layering piece in my wardrobe. So it's supposed to be like that. And it's a very quick knit. I started this on the 3rd of May. I finished it by the 26th. So that's one finished object. So there's that. And then my other finished object, well, I actually have 2 more. Well, 1 more after this, one that I'm about to show you. And it is, you guys saw this last episode, the Beachcomber. All right, we're going to start at this edge. This is what the ash looks like worked up. Here we go. I'm trying to find the big sections. This is the whisker section and the creme brulee section all knit up. And it's an absolutely wonderful pattern. As I said, this is the yarn that I'm giving away. This is what it looks like all together. Cotton yarn is a cotton linen based yarn, and it is 70% cotton, 30% linen. It's 123 yards to 50 grams, and it is a DK weight yarn. As I said, there will be 4 skeins of the dark gray color, 4 skeins of the yellow color, and 2 of the light gray. I'm not giving away the pattern or anything. It's just the yarn. I want you guys to be aware before I send it to you. So I loved knitting this. It was fun. And most of it was pretty mindless. It's just a bunch of garter other than these little lace sections, which I still need to block this, so ignore it. But it's done, which is what matters. So, and I love this picot edge. This is a Knit Picks pattern, and that's why I got the Knit Picks kit with it. And you can also purchase this pattern on Ravelry if you want to. I just had it on Knit Picks. The other thing that I have that's finished, I just dropped something. This is the Antler Hat by Tincan Knits, and it is from the Golden Pearls. As I said, I absolutely love their yarn. They're my absolute favorite indie dyed brand right now. And this is in their colorway I'm Old, I'm Supposed to Be Colorful. It's a worsted weight. It's 100% superwash merino, and it's 218 yards. And it's Antler by Tincan Knits. It is supposed to be slouchy, which I appreciate because I have a lot of hair. So that's a side view as best as I can estimate. I did modify this a little bit. You're only supposed to have 2 inches of ribbing. However, I like a longer brim. I like the brim to be all on my ears. I don't like it to change to actual hat halfway through. So there is about 3.5 to 4 inches of ribbing, and I still had yarn left over on this. So don't be worried. I did the adult small size hat. And this is the colors up close. I think it's absolutely beautiful. The yarn, the light is not doing this yarn justice at all. And if my fingers are dirty, I'm sorry. I have been outdoors today. There has been some adventuring going on in our backyard. And in our front yard too. Well, our side yard, because we don't have a front yard. But that is it for finished objects for me. Let me pick up my stash enhancement right there. Sorry. I do have a few whips, 4 of them. You guys are not going to be surprised by the first 3 though, because what do I always have? I'm waiting. Did you say socks? I hope so, because if you're a returning viewer, you know that's what I knit the most of. So, here we go. This is the first sock. Well, it's obviously the last one I've cast on because it doesn't have much work on it yet, but this is the Moana colorway from Moose and You Yarns. This is what the ball looks like. So you can actually see all of the colors. And I have a little kitty mermaid on there, Progress Keeper from Simply Serving Knits. So that's one sock. These are all first socks. And for my new viewers, I knit all of my socks toe up. I knit the Macon currently, typically, but I don't start it until after I get through the heel of the first sock. And I do a fish lips kiss heel. I do 27 stitches, magic loop on either side. And I typically do a 3x3 ribbed cuff, typically. The next pair that I have is some Regia Design Line Vierfartig by Arnie and Carlos. This is color 03653. And I call it my Nordic Flare sock. The Moanas are for me, but this pair is for my mother, because we're going to Norway for Christmas and she needs to have some socks. She's getting the second box of socks that I'm knitting. I only have 3 more pairs to do for her. Yay! But so this is one of them. And it's a self-patterning, self-striping. And that is the Unicorn Progress Keeper from Simply Serving. And I love the ombre gradient in the cake. And I am knitting these. Both of the pairs so far have, actually all of my pairs are on Knit Picks needles. And I range between a US size 1 to a 1.5. Sometimes a 2 if it's a sport weight sock. So, as I said, a magic loop. If you hear any loud noises, I apologize. My windows are open because it's a beautiful day outside today. And I want to enjoy it while I can, because it's soon going to be miserably hot because we're getting into the summer months. But so it's warmer today and I want to enjoy the windows open. So this is my third and final sock whip that you will see. This is Gelato from the Yarn Jar. And my little progress keeper on it is this little dim sum dumpling from Simply Serving. There we go. It's adorable. And it's all my sock whips, you guys. I always use the same vanilla sock pattern, which is vanilla extract from Risen Knits. It is a paid for pattern. Excuse me. But it's not very expensive. I think it's like $1.50. And she tells you you can either do a heel and gusset and she'll instruct you through the heel, or she recommends the Fish Lips Kiss heel, which you can buy for $1. And I absolutely recommend that you do, because it's a fantastically written pattern. And I say this every time I talk about it. It's a 19-page pattern, but the pattern only takes 5 lines. So it's just a bunch of information. It's a wealth of knowledge for you to use, and how to make a sock that really truly fits your foot. So go check it out. It's only $1, you guys. It's the best dollar I've ever spent. I'm gonna have a sip of water. Sorry about that, y'all. Because while I enjoy having the windows open, it also means allergies are abounding, which means my throat is a mess. All right, my final whip for knitting is the Life Changes Shawl by Laura Concert. And this is what I have so far. And the purple, both of the yarns are from the same dyer. It's a Magpie Knits, which is a friend of mine, Agatha. And this is the Grapes colorway and the Honey colorway. And Laura's a friend of mine too. They're all friends. So go check out this pattern and go look at Agatha's yarn. It is so fun to work with. She does some beautiful tonals. You can see the range and depth of color when you look at this shawl. It's just absolutely wonderful. And I am on I just finished section 4 out of 11. So these purple ones are the same throughout, I believe. And it's the yellow ones that will change because your life changes. So I've had 2 of those sections so far. I made a mistake right there. But you know what? Sometimes in life you make mistakes, so I'm not going to rip out and fix it. And my mother always taught me, and I also heard it in Disney, I'll go with the Disney version. When they were building Epcot, and that's the park that has all of the different worlds inside of it. When they were doing Morocco, they had, apologies, I forgot to put my phone on silent. Hi, Natalie, since you're the one who Instagram messaged me to make the noise. Hi, Natalie. It was good talking to you this morning. They brought in workers from Morocco to work on the building inside, and it's all laid with tile, and it's perfect, absolutely wonderful and beautiful, except at the end of it, the workers broke one of the tiles before they put it in. And when the company asked them why they did that, they said that only Allah makes things perfect, and we are not Allah, so we place this tile in here out of respect. And so I'm not going to get into religious politics or anything. I just thought that it was a beautiful sentiment, and it's something that has always stuck with me. My mother says it to me all the time too, so I tend to keep my mistakes because I'm not perfect, and it's a reminder that it's okay to not be perfect, because in the end, this shawl will still be beautiful. All right, that's enough of the philosophical part of this episode. And this is the Progress Keeper I am using on it. It's again, Simply Serving. It's a reindeer little cake. That's the backside. It's funfetti for the layers. And it's just a little cute Rudolph with cute eyelashes and antlers. That's all I have for whips, you guys. I haven't really been in a very knitty place this month. It's been a harder month for me, so the progress I have is an amazing personal accomplishment for me. However, I know it's not my usual. I've finished 5 pairs of socks and I have 3 more on the go. I know it's not my normal, but for me this is good for what I've gone through this month. So anyways, my last whip is cross stitch, which has become my new addiction. And I'm going to talk about it in this episode. If you don't enjoy it, tell me in the comments below and I won't talk about it again. But I like to kind of share things. I fell in love with cross stitch by watching knitters talk about it briefly on their podcast. And it'll never be something that'll overtake my knitting or crocheting, but it is something that I am really enjoying right now. And I want to talk about it. So, but if it's not interesting to you, I'll leave it out. And I apologize. It'll just be a few minutes talking about this one. All right. I am working on the 12 Days of Christmas by the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. And so far I have done day 1, day 5, and day 6, because in cross stitching, when you're a beginner, they recommend that you start in the center and work your way out, because it's easier to find the center than to try and guesstimate where you need to be on the fabric to leave a border and make sure you have enough room for your pattern. So I have actually gridded out the entire project. You can see some of it back here. For all 12 days, it's already complete in that sense. So yay. And I am trying to work on these one of the days once a week, one a week. So I've been working on these. It only takes about 2 or 3 days to get one of them done. I've only done one other cross stitch project before. And so, and it was a very small one. It was like one of those my first cross stitches, and it was from a Dimensions kit from Michaels. But I wanted to talk about this because this is, I can't find my little card, but it's Picture This Plus Aida 14 count fabric. And it's in the Ale colorway, and it's their crystal fabric because it sparkles. And we all know me, I love to sparkle. And I also wanted to talk about some of the needle minders I've gotten, because I'm going to talk about them in stash enhancement in a minute. So this one I bought with the kit. So I bought a bunch of kits on Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. You guys know this. And so it comes with all the embroidery floss I need. It comes with the fabric. It comes with the pattern. It did not come with the frame or needle minders, just needles. And I knew that Q-snaps were a very popular way of holding your cross stitch because hoops leave wrinkles and edges when you hold it in place for too long, whereas a Q-snap, it rolls over a PVC pipe, so you don't really have those edges that you have to iron out. And so this is an 8x8 Q-snap. I bought it off of Amazon, and the way it works, for those that don't know, you can just kind of slide this over or you pop it off. And there's the edge of my fabric. And so it's like, this is the back. And I know that this one is not pretty. The 6 was the first one I had done, and I'd never really done something before. You can see that my 1 and my 5 are much prettier in the back. I'll go up close because, again, it's okay to not be perfect. I've shown progress in the 3 blocks that I have cross-stitched, right? That's what matters. So that's what I've been working on for that. And then you just tighten it up by sliding around and stuff. That's all you have to do. And you make X's. So that's my cross-stitching whip. It's being held in my Hamilton bag because I don't have any cross-stitch bags in my possession right now. However, I have ordered one from a fellow military spouse. She's in Fort Carson, I believe. And she has her own floss tube, which is what cross-stitching podcasts are called. And she is Erica D. House. She's really fun, and I really enjoy watching her. So you should go check her out too. But so, yeah, I have a Beauty and the Beast bag coming from her. And I'm really excited about it because I have a few cross-stitch kits, and I'm looking at them all lined up. They're all in different knitting project bags right now because they don't have proper bags for their home. So let's talk about stash enhancement. Alrighty, so I'm grabbing some business cards here because I bought things from them. All right, so first off, I got some awesome needle minders, and I keep them on my lamp over here. And I'm going to let you know one of these is not family friendly. I will warn you before I put it on the screen so you can avert your eyes if you want to. Okay. So the first one is this from Curious Carrie because I love Christmas, and of the kits that I've purchased from Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery, all but one of them are Christmas themed. So I figured I was owed an extra. So here it is. Isn't it cute? I think she's adorable. And as I said, they're all attached to my artificial daylight lamp. So they're within reach. This one is from Simply Serving. It's chocolate covered strawberry. And for those that don't know, needle minder is what goes on your fabric, and it's magnetic. So here's the strawberry. This is the back side. And it has its own little magnet. So they are connected, and you just stick the fabric in between, and you can slide it around. And you have a needle minder because it used to be that you would just stick your needle through the fabric and call it good, but that damages your fabric over time. And if you leave your cross stitching alone for a while, for a length of time, your needle can rust in the fabric, and that's not a good thing. So you have a needle minder because it stays off of the fabric and away from your stitching. The next one that I got was this 10th Doctor, and he's adorable because 10 is my doctor, in case you didn't know. And I bought him from Ginger Stitch AU, who is Zane Baker Thompson, And his Instagram is GingerStitchAU as well. So this came all the way from Australia. And it was not that expensive, and it came really quickly, which I'm surprised about because it has to go all the way from Australia to the States, and then from the States to Germany. It has to go through customs and all of these different places. So it came really quickly, less than a month. I was very surprised, and I'm very happy about that. And I appreciated the business card, so I want to share his name. All right, y'all. We've now reached the portion where we are not family friendly. Give this about 1.5 minutes, and then you can pop back in. Okay? All right. This last one is a rainbow penis. I thought it was so cute with the eyeballs. And yeah, I'm not going to go into describing it, but you can see it. And I found it because it was on a Pride pin listing on Etsy because rainbow is Pride. And I have a bunch of LGBT plus friends. And I like to show my support, and I end up going to a lot of Pride parades, and I thought it'd be a cute thing to wear as a gift. Well, as a pin or something when I go. And that is from So Cute and Quirky on Etsy. And what I loved is that she sent a card with a wiener dog, and I love wiener dogs. And it says, "Thank you, Jessica. Enjoy your penis." I'm done saying that word now. We're back to the family-friendly portion of the show. Done. Okay. I also got some yarn. I purchased this club from Elm Tree Yarns, and my friend Angela did the stitch markers for it. And so I was going to support it purely because Angela was a part of it. But this yarn is actually beautiful, and it's a 4-month thing. So there's May, June, July, and August. I do know that she sold them all individually. However, she has sold out of June and July, but there might still be a few August listings. Go to Elm Tree Yarns on Etsy.com if you would like to try and snatch them up after seeing what it is. So there's this butterfly lobster clasp progress keeper and a dragonfly stitch marker. There also is a hand sewn object in each box, and so I got this scissor cover. And also the theme for this club is Vintage Garden. And so this is called Avicular and Rose, I believe. And this is a 75-25 superwash merino nylon blend for both the mini and the full skein. And it's the May Vintage Garden Club 2019. It's 100 grams, 425 meters for the full skein, and a 20 gram mini. And that is what it looks like. I think it's beautiful. It's not my typical colors. As I said, I ordered this purely because I wanted to support my friend Angela. But I'm glad I ordered it because it's beautiful. And I'm not going to say what I think I'm going to knit with it yet, because if I end up not doing it, I don't want to look silly. But that was my yarn acquisition. I only have 3 more things, and they're all progress keepers. As I told you guys, I am trying to stash down a lot. And so I'm being more particular about yarn coming into the house. So it's nice. Progress keepers, on the other hand, are a different story. You always need a new progress keeper. Always. And I'm curious, has anybody else noticed that if they're like ever on a yarn diet, that they end up buying more notions than they normally would? Or is it just me? Because I think we've talked about this, that I have a shopping issue. And I'm pulling all the progress keepers out of the bags right now. That's why it's taking me a second. Because Simply Serving, all of the markers come in these little bags. But I've noticed that if I'm not buying yarn, I'm buying other things. And I don't always necessarily need them, but sometimes I do need them. But I mean, these are cute progress keepers. So obviously, even though I already have 30 plus progress keepers, I obviously needed these because they're cute. And as I've told y'all before, I always get the lever back ones from her because I like a lever back because it does triple duty. It progress keeps, and it also just works as a good marker on things, and I can also actually use it as a stitch marker. So it's a unicorn donut. How cute. And the horn sparkles. Come on. And as I said, it's a donut. Cute. There's also, I love her cupcake charms the most. They're my absolute favorite. And so I tend to get a bunch of the cupcake ones. This is the Sorting Hat Witchcraft and Wizardry cupcake because I'm a Harry Potter nerd. And as a reminder, I'm a Slytherin. Actually, my sister, not my birth sister, my exchange sister from when I was going to go to China, made me this case. And she has an Etsy shop too. I'll link it below. And I, however, found a bump in it and I started picking at it, which is why there's a hole there now because I can't leave things well enough alone. This is my third and final acquisition. It's a moon succulent cat cupcake and I love it. So cute. I'm going to try and there's the succulent up close. And I drop her. I'm sorry. She sparkles. I just absolutely love them. Love them. That's it for Stash Enhancement, y'all. That's it for most of the podcast. That's it for all the knitting and crafty content. So now I'm going to talk about a few of the things I've been watching, listening to, and just life in general. All right. So I have been watching a lot of FlossTube lately. I've been watching Erica D. House. I have been watching Ginger Gerald. I've been watching Kansas City Girl in a Colorado World and Stitch All the Things for FlossTubers. So they all talk about cross stitching. And I've also been watching Modern Stitches Co. So that's it for cross stitching podcast. I've been watching Diary of a Physicist Farm Gal this week. I've been watching Hound Strings because she released a new episode this week. Yay! I've been watching Honeybee Knits. But I have not been watching a lot of knitting podcasts. I've been watching the backlogs of the FlossTubers because knitting just has not been a happy thing for me this month. But we'll get into that in a second. I've been listening to this one album over and over again, and it is Straight Outta Oz by Todrick Hall. It is not by any means a new album, but also it has some explicit songs in it. There are some bad words in it, so if that's not your jam, you probably do not want to listen to it. But I thoroughly enjoy it, and I just recently found it because there was a Netflix documentary special about the creation of the album and the tour, and I'd already heard of one of the songs before, but now I got to hear the rest, and I really enjoyed them. I enjoyed the message and what he was trying to do with the music, and so I've been listening to that a lot, like on repeat, anytime I'm in the car, anytime I'm doing dishes. Normally I listen to like a David Tennant Does a Podcast With episode, or mythology podcast episode, or a historical figures podcast episode, but nope, it's all been Straight Outta Oz. My absolute favorite song on the album is, let me pull up the name to make sure I have it correct. I just sing it. Normally I don't pay attention to the name. It's Over the Rainbow. And yes, Straight Outta Oz, it's a play on Wizard of Oz. And Over the Rainbow is not the song that you're expecting if you're thinking somewhere over the rainbow. Not that song. But still beautiful and heartbreaking at the same time. Okay. All right. So, on to life chatter. It has been a rough month for me. My depression has been not letting me do a lot. And I try to enjoy when I am in a good enough, when I am in a headspace where I can function and do something. Normally, knitting isn't the first thing I'm reaching for right now. I'm typically reaching for the TV and I'm watching Friends or Golden Girls, or I'm reading a book. That's been my happy place lately. And so knitting does bring me joy, and it's a wonderful therapy for me. But it's just been a rough month, and a lot of times the therapist says it's called seasonal affective disorder. And so a lot of times when you're changing seasons over, it can be a harder time for you when you are managing depression. And so it's just been a hard month. And so there hasn't been a lot of knitting and crafting. I've been really enjoying the cross stitching, and so it's one of the first things I reach for. Last episode I had told y'all we were going to go to Nuremberg for the weekend. We did not go because I couldn't leave the house. But we do have plans for this weekend. Tomorrow, actually, our town is going to have a medieval festival, and a Renaissance festival is one of the things that I love most because I'm a geeky nerd, and history and Renaissance history is one of my favorite things beyond World War II history. But it's a little weird to say that when you're in Germany. You have to be careful and word it very carefully when you're saying that World War II history is one of your favorite things to learn about. Because obviously most of the things happened here and their families took part, and you have to be sensitive and careful of it. So that's been my life for a little bit. I've had a lot of visitors here lately, and I appreciate them a lot. It's been a rough month. So I haven't been on VKN lately. I haven't been doing a lot of things that I normally would. So I've just been sticking to myself for the month and focusing on self-care, which is important. So that is all I have for today. I will come back after this. I'm going to record a separate video with numbers for Stash Dash and Yoo-Hoo Big Stash Blowout. So until then, see ya. And do what makes your heart sing. For me, it's 2 sticks and string. Hey y'all, I am officially back. I had some lunch, I rested, and now I'm going to give you some numbers. I do have my phone right here though because I don't have them memorized, and it's a lot of numbers. So first off, Stash Dash started. It started on May 24th, and it goes until the end of August, I think. I don't remember the specific date, but that's a while in the future, so not too worried. But so far for that, I have completed 921.3 meters. Every point counts. I have signed up and already saved my spot in the 10K finish line for that. Stash Dash, if you don't know, is hosted by the Knit Girls. They do it every summer, and I've never actually accomplished my Stash Dash goal except for the first year I did it, and I wanted 7,000, and I did make it. I was about 400 meters off from making it to the 10,000 that year. However, since I am so focused on getting these things done, my yarn done for getting ready to move, and since I want to get all of the sweaters done for my family for Christmas, I think I have a decent shot at making it happen. So that's why I set myself up for that goal. Also, I do realize I've shown pictures of a certain whip on Instagram, and it's my dad's Christmas sweater. And I did not show it during the podcast earlier, purely because it is downstairs. It's my downstairs project, and it really has not changed at all since you guys saw it in the Instagram photo. So while it hasn't really been shown that much on here, if at all, I can't remember. It's been too long. I don't think it has, though. I probably just talked about it. Or if I did talk about it, it was still in the baby stages. I have separated for the sleeves. I've got about 11 inches down on the body. And in case you're wondering, it's Lion Brand Pound of Love in the Evergreen colorway. So I keep it downstairs and I don't want to bring it up until I have to. So that's why you didn't see it. But so that's the first numbers thing I'm going to do. And of the 921.3 meters, 779.8 meters was used towards the Magpie tendency. So that was a good portion. The other thing that I finished since Stash started was the hat, and it was like 100. It was actually, in yards, it was 158.4. So, yeah, it's a little different. Yard wise versus meters, because Stash is done in meters. So that's important to know. All right. And then so far for the year, I will be posting this in the, Make a Long Yoo-Hoo Big Stash Blowout thread. But so far this year, I have used and removed from my stash, things have not been replaced, 2,614.8 yards, which means I have knit up 1,149 grams completely out of my stash. That is meaning, because what I do when I look at my Excel sheet, you can kind of see it here. I'll try and explain this as best I can. Usage of grams is how much I have used for the year in total. Intake is what I have brought in to the house. So remaining is what I have actually used that is actually in a project, done, no longer in the house, or has been successfully completed. So I don't think that's bad for where we've been. I don't think it's bad at all, especially since when you think about it, at the beginning of the month of May, I was in the negative for remaining, since I had gone shopping with Alex. So the things I have finished this month, as you know, are the night shift shawl, which I sent to Melissa, the Desert Vista Dyework socks for the month, the beachcomber, the V-neck Magpie, and the antler hat. So for this month alone, I have used 815 grams. However, since I had this one skein come in, that means I've only actually, my remaining is 715 grams. And I have used 3,225.5 yards this month. So that's my little numbers chat for you guys. I do hope to make sure that I add one of these in at the end of podcasts until Big Stash Blowout is over in May of 2020. So get your needles going. I'm still looking forward to seeing all of your goals as they change and as you accomplish them. I am a goal-oriented person, so I am so excited that you guys are doing this with me. I am grateful. And again, as always, do what makes your heart sing. For me, that's 2 6 and string. See ya.